Hi, everybody. This is Chris,
And this is Matt,
and you may not recognize us.
right? Because we never do this anymore.
We really have been gone for a while. We're gonna try and fix that this year. We're looking back at last year, and this is our yearly look back show where we talk about the games we talked about. So it's like double dipping. We talked about
That's
them.
right.
Now we're gonna talk about how we talked about them.
Yes. And then after 10 years, we'll do a look back on all the yearly look
Oh, that's
backs.
brilliant. Which was our
We're just
favorite
going
year
to.
to look back on? This will not be our favorite year to look back on.
This year was not a great year in retro gaming for this channel. And I think it's reflected in our cadence of show releases because we kind of fell off the wagon. Or no, wait. No, we fell off the radar a
Yeah,
little bit here. And, we're sorry.
we are. We
We know
had,
you all live and die by the
yeah.
show.
This is not our primary source of income. This is not our day job. Uh,
Wait, you have a day job?
I do. How do you think I afford all these wonderful retro games? I certainly would never pirate them.
Never, never.
um, no, but like some of it is, yeah. We've both had life and job and other things kind of come up and. But looking at our list of games this year, I think
Yeah,
some of it has just been this has not been a great year for us
right.
gaming wise.
And there's no reason for that because there's still lots of great games that we have
Right,
not played, and
right.
like it's just I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Yeah, I think I leaned a little into what games would be fun to talk about rather than what games would be fun to play, and that's um, not a healthy long term for the channel, for us, for anything else. So we'll fix that up a little bit next year too. Hey everybody, Future Chris here. Just sort of interrupting this sort of rambling self introspection on the channel. I'll give an actual sort of state of the channel thing. Matt and I need to change some stuff up this year. I don't know what. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But I do know we're going to be trying some different things. We're going to be trying some scripted content. We're going to be trying maybe playing some more modern games, not too modern. Uh, Maybe having just discussions about what games are, what game design concepts we like and don't like. Maybe dabble into that a little bit. We're going to be trying a lot of different things to kind of try and get that energy back we had when we first started this channel. We're after 7 years, we're feeling a little stale and we want to freshen up, if only for a moment, to try some things. What we need from you is if you see something you like, something you want us to keep doing or continuing, a type of show that you found interesting and want us to do more of, I need you to let us know. We will presume indifference or that no comments basically means indifference at best and dislike at worst. I'm sure if you dislike it, you'll let us know that too. Uh, so yeah, this is just our way of saying change is coming to the channel. I don't know what that means yet. I don't know what it's going to look like. And if you see something drastically different, it's just us trying something to kind of have some fun again with this. So let us know what you think as we do it. Let us know what worked for you, what didn't, and we'll take that into account as we keep going. Thanks everybody for listening. I will talk to you again right now.
we're getting healthy in 2023. It's our New Year's resolution.
Here you go. I'm working out now. Look
We're
at me go.
gonna we're gonna jazzercise. We're gonna sweat into the oldies.
I'm gonna meal a deal.
Yeah,
Or is it
yeah.
deal a meal?
We
Deal a
gotta get
meal.
in
That's what. Not meal a deal. Deal a
deal
meal.
meal. Yep.
Yeah.
We got to get in fighting shape
Gotta
for
get
Matt
fighting
Barton
shit.
if we ever get in the ring with that guy. We ever do a tag team situation?
Who would he tag with?
I don't know.
George the Great.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
We could take him.
George
I
would
fight
just eat at our
dirty.
despair until we collapsed. Like he'd bring Seal in,
Yep. Yeah.
and I'd
My
just be
despair
like,
is very vulnerable.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I might flip on you for Seal. Like Seal and I would go off and form our own like
Oh,
third
and
party.
and
I know.
me and Matt Barton, hmm?
Maybe.
We could do it.
Poor George out on his own.
Yeah, well,
All right. Uh, if you're joining us for the
Yeah.
first time, wow, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
We normally talk about games. This time, we're actually going to talking about games. So let's just kind of bust into what last year gave us. We had Dungeon Hack, Gabriel
Hmm.
Knight,
Hmm.
Dark Forces, Raid Over
Yeah.
Moscow,
Yeah.
Demon's Forge,
Hmm.
Swashbuckler,
Yep.
Telengard,
Mm.
Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils,
Mm.
Kickstart, Space
Ooh.
Taxi,
Mm.
Sim City, Pickle
Yeah.
Wars, Might and
Hmm.
Magic 1, Boulder
Yes.
Dash, and Prince of Persia.
Wowie zowie.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, it's not that every one of these games was
no.
horrible. I mean, there's good games in there for sure. It's just that there weren't any like real standout, like, ooh, totally sucked in.
Well, let me just jump back a year here.
Jump back a year.
Like last year, we had Duke Nukem 3D, we had Half Life, we had Masters of Magic, we had
We
Quest for
did.
Glory, Way of the
Yeah.
Exploding Fist, XCOM review. Those were some games that were just fun to play. The year
Right.
before, I know you didn't care for Airborne Ranger, but Deus Ex,
Yeah.
Impossible Mission, Legacy of the Ancients, Road War 2000,
Hmm.
Terminal Velocity, Wolf 3D.
You know what the other problem, I think,
Hmm.
looking at the list from last year, there weren't any games that were really fun to hate except
Right.
Pickle Wars. Pickle Wars was fun to hate,
Pickle
but
Wars was
like
fun to hate. Attack of
we,
the Phantom Karate Devils is just bizarre. I don't even know if I
yeah,
hate it as much as I just.
yeah, right. But like, what was the Syndicate? Syndicate,
Yeah,
like our hatred for my, at least my
your hatred for
hatred.
it.
I
My
think it was
I
both of our,
strong dislike.
my hatred. Your strong dislike for that game was like exquisite,
Hmm. Yeah, we
and
didn't have an auto duel. We didn't have a Zorro. We didn't have something truly awful to just like, oh my god, I can't believe we did that. Coupled with something really good. It's all fine. It's all
mhm,
fine.
it's fair to Midland this year.
Yeah. Like, okay, let's talk about we never review, but we have categories where we're like, this year, what was the most fun game we played? And I put Dungeon Hack, I guess. Uh SimCity, I
Yeah,
probably had the least fun, but I don't know, it was fine. Might and Magic
yeah,
1, maybe?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you have
So
fun
the
on
first
any?
category is fun. That's what
Yeah,
we're doing. That.
yeah,
Yeah. So we usually pick best and worst, and then sometimes we call out some honorable mentions.
yeah,
So you said the most fun was Dungeon Hack,
maybe,
maybe.
I guess.
You said the most fun was Dungeon Hack,
Yeah, right, there you go.
and I said Prince of Persia was the most fun.
I can give you that. Like,
It's interesting,
yeah.
like it's kind of fun. I know the controls made you want to kill yourself, but
Well, less that and more like I'm just memorizing stuff and repeating and then trying to nail that
yeah,
memorization on a Twitch level with controls that are a little sloppy. It's a good game. The animation's great.
yeah, I had fun with it.
Yeah,
So that's what I said. I said the least fun was Kickstart
I give you that
because
too. Like, yeah,
I had such a hard time even like pinning down what Kickstart was doing as a
yeah.
game, uh, and I didn't have a lot of fun dealing with it.
Kickstart kind of reminds me of like uh, if Guitar Hero did a motocross thing where like these
Right,
tires you got to push this way on the controller, these slopes you got to push this way on
right.
the controller, and you just have to be pushing the right way at the right time to make everything happen. And if you do, you finish the level.
Yep, yep.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
But it's not. It's like getting there if you
Yeah.
think you're going to play Excite Bike, like you are sorely
Yeah.
mistaken. But yeah, so I had not fun with Kickstart.
Right.
Honorable mention, I think Raid Over Moscow was fun, and I think it
Yeah.
had interesting gameplay mechanics. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. I mean, I have
Yeah.
Gabriel Knight as my honorable mention for worst.
Worst fun?
Yeah, I had the least fun.
Dishonorable mention?
Yeah, dishonorable mention.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Sierra games, like
You just hate them.
they're just not. They're not my thing. They're
You
just
hate
not.
them.
And it's not even fun to hate on them anymore. Like it's Sierra
Yeah.
games are what they are for the people they're for, and I'm not that person.
Right. Right. We should probably swear off Sierra games, with the exception of maybe some more of the Quest for Glory series, because that one did a little more than
Yeah.
your standard Sierra game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it wasn't quite so. Guess what I'm thinking, or I'm going to punish you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could.
Let's not do the whole
Yeah.
Sierra thing again. Let's not fucking.
We're
do
trying
it.
to get through this year, not rehash it.
We're trying to be healthier in 2023. Damn it! Let's not
gnaw
get sucked
on
into the
Sierra
Sierra
for...
dynamic again.
But you like them, so we might. I can occasionally.
I don't like them that much.
Hold my nose. And...
I think I just like front like I like them more than I do to make you mad.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
let's think about that.
We'll think about that.
Let's not do anything.
We
rash.
still have a lot of requests for Sierra games, so we'll see what happens.
People like to request things that you hate.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
Yep. And in Discord, they're like, "Oh, Matt'll hate that. Let's do it."
Yeah, I know.
Interface.
I said, I'm not entirely sure why I said this, but I said the best interface was SimCity because it's basically an interface, the whole thing.
Yeah.
The only thing is that it really, like, if I'm honest about it, thinking about the experience of using the interface, it's kind of hit or miss, really.
Yeah.
But it's like efficient in a way.
Worst
I said was Gabriel Knight because well, we talked about it at length, but like the icons aren't clear, the items that you can interact with aren't clear, it's a lot of hunt a pixel.
Yeah.
It's like you're really fighting the interface the whole time you're playing it.
For me, like I have Boulder Dash and Prince of Persia as like my two best.
Interesting that you picked Prince of Persia. I thought you did not like the interface.
What I like about the interface is it is consistent and it is clean. There's not a lot of stuff on the screen. You learn what you do, and then everything there tells you like what it's doing. Like if you jump up and down, you'll see the stuff wiggle. Like there's little cues. It's like you said about, I think, Populous when we did it, where it's part of the interface is part of the game. It's baked in. And that's how I felt about Prince of Persia. And same with sort of Boulder Dash. You're on the screen. That is what it is. There's not anything else cluttering it up. But everything else, I just was like, these are all awful.
Space Taxi was pretty good. That's clean.
It's fine.
It's a one button joystick.
Is fine.
Jamboree, it's fine.
But name another, like, what one did you pick? SimCity? It's fine. That SimCity and Space Taxi, I can give you. The rest of them can just all fuck off.
Yeah, like Might and Magic's interface for a role playing game is pretty good, but not flawless for sure.
Definitely not flawless. I'm having to jump around to find where my hit points are and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Apparently we're a year older and a year crotchetier because we liked Might and Magic, but I'm just like, tell me about its interface. Screw you.
Everything's terrible.
Everything's awful.
Dungeon hack interface. I thought about choosing that, but then I remembered actually playing it, and like it's not always consistent. Sometimes you're dragging stuff on your face, sometimes you're equipping it and using
exactly it. Sometimes you can keyboard command, sometimes you can't.
Yeah,
It's
inconsistent.
inconsistent. Otherwise, it would have been pretty good, but it wasn't
Hmm.
consistent. So sorry, Dungeon Hack.
Yep.
Villain.
Do you want to go first with your best villain?
Best villain, probably Prince of Persia, but I gave Pickle Wars an eh.
The Pickles?
Yeah,
I said Prince of Persia, Jafar,
yeah.
best villain.
Hmm.
I actually said Pickle Wars was the worst villain.
I think
Um,
that's why I like it.
right.
It's
Not so
so
much.
bad.
I'm not as mad about the pickles as I am the flying like contraption things
Right.
that are kind of indistinguishable from the flying
Hmm.
mailbox delivery
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Um, but there weren't a lot of standout villains. Like Dark
No,
Forces, the villains were good.
they're fine. They're
Yeah, yeah,
somebody's, fanfic Star Wars villains. Okay.
right. Dungeon
Uh,
Hack is just like whatever.
whatever. I never
Demon's
really made it far
Forge,
enough in Gabriel Knight to find out who the villain is. Maybe I would have liked him, but
maybe.
Demon's Forge was the demon.
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
know about that.
Yeah.
The real villain is the friends we made along the way.
Right.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
Okay. So our next topic, surprising.
So every year I'm not sure what this means.
Which game
Is it
surprised you the
most or
most?
worst? Or was it like the best surprise or
Oh,
the worst surprise?
I
Like, oh,
didn't
I'm really
actually put any
surprised and I
thought
hate
into
it.
these topics,
I
so
know.
whatever you feel, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. So based on my non-understanding of exactly what this means, I said the best surprise was Boulder Dash
Oh,
because it was fun
yeah,
and you're just like scooting around and it's a good time.
yeah,
It's puzzly, it's adventure-y, big surprise.
yeah.
Huge. Loved it. Good
Mhm.
time. Worst surprise I said was Pickle Wars
Yeah, I see that.
because I'm like I was like surprised that we were doing this.
Well, that came off of the Stunt Island because it used the sound card. It's one of the few games
Right.
that used that.
Right. Why what were we thinking when we came up with that criteria?
Well, we
Like
just
this
saw it
uses a
like here's a
sound
weird
device that neither
sound
of us
device
have.
that no one uses, and then there's a game about pickles invading the world. And that should just show everyone at home. We do no footwork before we pick a game.
No.
We like the sound of it, or we hate the sound of it, or we're curious about the sound of it, or someone suggested it. But there's no. I want to go in and not know if I'm going to love a game or hate a game.
Yeah, that's fun.
I like finding out with you exactly how I'm going to feel about it.
Hmm.
Um,
I think maybe I would change my worst to be maybe Telengard though,
really?
because I thought I was really gonna like Telengard, and I ultimately had such a hard time with it, and like
Huh.
I think that was kind of a disappointing surprise. What were your choices?
Best surprise was Telengard. Um,
Oh,
I thought I was going to hate it. See, I went in the opposite. I went in
hmm.
expecting to. I remember playing it on the Commodore back in the day for like a weekend and never
Hmm.
picking it up again.
Hmm.
So going back and actually finding it playable and starting to map and like I got a little interested.
Hmm. Oh, good on you.
Yeah, so that was just that to me that was the biggest surprise.
Yeah, I mean we can still be friends.
Yeah. The the only other surprise I have is Gabriel Knight. Was anyone surprised at my opinion on Gabriel Knight?
I mean, I was surprised at mine really
Yeah.
because I wanted to really like it, and then I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I worked hard to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad surprise.
Nostalgia.
So the best nostalgia I had was for Swashbuckler because it was a
Me too.
game that I played as a kid, totally forgot about, and then pulled it up on the screen. I was like, oh my God, it's this
This
fucking
game.
game. Like, I played this
Yeah.
at length. I don't know why, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like everything about it, like, hit all that nostalgia.
Yeah.
And worst, I said SimCity because I thought it was SimCity 2000 and it wasn't. It was not a good experience. I didn't really like it. It didn't do enough.
Yeah. Uh, for me, Swashbuckler had the most nostalgia.
Hmm.
Uh, Kickstart had some nostalgia. Phantom Karate Devils had some nostalgia. Raider of Moscow had some nostalgia. But nothing, even Might and Magic, there wasn't anything that really Swashbuckler and then nothing else. Everything else was just dead to me.
Wow.
Um,
So you said everything except Swashbuckler was your worst nostalgia?
yeah, it just there was nothing there. It
Jesus.
was empty.
Wow.
I
Wow.
felt nothing.
Maybe not to pull a Taylor Swift on you, but maybe the problem is you, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you're dead inside. I don't know.
It
Although
was
there's
a rough year for
Swashbuckler.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe not. Maybe it was just like a bad nostalgia year.
Yeah.
You didn't have any nostalgia for like Dark Forces?
Oh, absolutely not. That game was like not only was it not a game I played, um, but that entire 2.5D shooter genre, other than Duke,
Mm-hmm.
Wolfenstein, and Doom, all feel the same, bland, and that's how I felt about them then. So there's no little endorphin trigger when I play them again now.
Hmm.
It's just sort
Okay.
of is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, there's nothing there. Uh, I know,
Okay.
right?
Yep. Now I'm depressed. Let's keep going.
Sound and music.
Okay. Best sound and music.
I bet we agree
I
on this, but go.
I said Prince of Persia
Yes.
because it's the sound, it's all like so artfully tied together.
Yes.
It's not that the sounds are awesome like they were in
Nope.
Questron where it's just like shrieks and
Yeah.
but it was just like so artfully put together from a sound design standpoint,
Hmm.
and the music, it like fits the mood. Everything is great.
Right. Yep. No complaints with Prince of Persia. What's your worst?
I said Pickle Wars because I remember the sound being quite irritating.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I didn't actually put a worst down for this.
What? What?
Yeah.
No
Because I
worst
think
sound?
what fooled me is I have Prince of Persia, and I have it as good. Like I don't even have bests on here. That's how cynical and bitter I am this year. I just have
Ugh,
good, not best,
fine.
not one, not just
Hmm.
good, fine, whatever. But then I also have Dungeon Hack
Hmm.
because the monsters walking around, the gates going up and down, like figuring out
That's true.
stuff's close. That sound stuck out to me. There's not a
That's a
lot of
good call.
good to it. It's just so that's why I'm like, does that get a mention? Maybe.
Maybe. Sure.
Um, but like, uh, Phantom Karate Devil's actually a decent sound. Telengard had almost no sound. Demon's Forge had almost no sound.
Demon's Forge, I think, had no sound
Yeah.
at all.
Might and Magic had very little sound, just little musical stings. That was kind of cool,
Yeah.
but not enough to have some feelings about. Boulder Dash was a blippy thing, but it was a good blippy thing. So I don't
Hmm.
know. There's not really any bad sound music. There's just
Right.
eh.
Right. There are often standouts in the
Yes.
bad sound and music category, but
And
this
that's the
this
thing
year
for
everything was like
these categories. There's usually something that jumps in my face and goes, "This was amazing!" Like you immediately remember, "Oh, I want to make sure this gets this because that game stood out in music or sound or
hmm.
something," and it didn't. There's nothing musically that stood out, good
Yeah.
or bad. Like I give it to Prince of Persia, but only because I remember it being done well, but not because I remember it being amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Introduction. Which game had the best introduction?
You know, um,
I actually have a worst on this one, so this will be.
I think that I wanted to say I have Raid over Moscow, but that can't be right. Because there is
Uh,
no. Is there an introduction at all? I think it's
there,
just the
yes,
missiles
there
launching.
is. There's that giant long text scroll that gives you this whole backstory about how we got in this situation.
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I
So
think
did
I
you
think
mean?
probably maybe Dark Forces
I
because that
think you
did have a
probably meant
really
Dark
good.
Forces.
I think I said Dark Forces was the best, and then I noticed. I will. I went back and watched a bunch of the introductions.
Mhm.
Any game that had one, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Pickle Wars had a good introduction.
Hmm.
It's fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia's got a great
Yes.
introduction,
Yes.
possibly best. So I said the worst was Demon's Forge because I felt like it needed something there and it was just absent.
Yes.
You have to
Uh,
read the manual uh, to get what's going on in Demon's Forge.
I had the best one was Prince of Persia. I had Dungeon
Mm-hmm.
Hack as an because it gave a little like how your guy gets teleported. There's some voice
Yeah.
acting. Like I could get behind that as a good intro. My worst actually was Kickstart.
What's the Kickstart intro?
Well, that's sort of the problem. Is that first menu screen?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I played for a week or two before I figured out you could do things on it to like change what courses you're playing and what
Mm-hmm.
difficult. Like it didn't immediately make sense to me, and I'm looking at something that should be telling me how to work. It's not really an intro, but it is also as far as an arcade game would go. That's its intro,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it did it poorly. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So for next we have manual. Who?
manual.
What was the best manual?
I liked the Dark Forces manual.
It is a very good manual.
I thought the Swashbuckler manual was fun.
Oh, I didn't even read it.
Yep. I thought is like a page or something. It wasn't much, but it had fun with the swashbuckler theme.
Mm-hmm.
I just put Ha for Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously Might and Magic has a nice manual.
Yeah, I said Might and Magic was the best because it's a role playing game.
Hmm.
It's got what you need. It seemed
Right.
like it was well laid out. It's got some flavor, but definitely Dark Forces
Right.
honorable mention.
Yeah.
I
So
said the worst was Kickstart because it's just like a 2 page deal and it doesn't really tell you that much.
right.
But that one was hard because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Who had the best and worst story?
I think Might and Magic one had the best story
Okay.
because it has twists. It develops as you play. You start off like on this kind of quest for
Hmm.
whatever
Yeah,
the
there's
thing
not
you're
even much of a tell you what to do quest. Just explore the town, look at the
right.
statues, go from there, and you start piecing stuff together.
Yeah, and it develops and
Hmm.
it changes. So you're searching for the secret of the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a holy grail type deal. And
Right.
then you find out then there's some other stuff that
Yeah.
happens. So I thought that was a good story. I think like, you know, the worst story maybe like Demon's Forge again needed a story. I think the Pickle Wars story is
Rough.
a little rough because like it's just a little rough.
I'm surprised you
What
didn't go with Dungeon Hack for the worst story.
yeah. Well, yeah, you yelled at me because I said some things about the dungeon hack story.
Well, you sort of started up the situation of asking us to sort of have a philosophical question about Dungeons and Dragons. And the last thing I need are a bunch of people with strong feelings on Dungeons and Dragons arguing in the comments. Um,
Yeah,
Because you don't
right,
answer the comments, I end up in there.
right, right. I just like drop these bombs and just let you run with it.
And I appreciate it or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I think dungeon hack could have used some more story,
Yeah,
but I think it was
it's
fine.
fine. It was fine for what it was.
What did you say?
Well, I don't have a worse story because I feel like most of them are fine. They do what they need to do. I mean, technically, Kickstart doesn't have a story beyond you riding a bike. Best story I thought was Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, Gabriel Knight does have a good
I
story,
want
and
to
it's
watch
quite
that
rich.
story. I
Yep.
want to watch a TV show on Gabriel Knight.
Yeah,
I just don't
for
want to
sure.
play it. Or I'd rather play it if like Telltale or someone other than Sierra did it.
Hmm.
LucasArts did a Gabriel Knight game. Maybe a little less
Sure.
comedy, but
Yeah.
just not Sierra.
Yeah. Yeah. Dark Force's story was also really good. Like, it's
Yeah,
very, very much a Star Wars thing.
yeah.
Like, go investigate this. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, it starts with the fucking Death
Death
Star
Star. It all
plans,
starts with the Death Star.
everything.
It's always the
Eh,
Death Star.
but it like goes places, and you have to rescue people and all that Star Wars shit that always happens,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good story.
Game World.
I think the best was Gabriel Knight.
Agreed.
I like the richness of it. I like the purported accuracy of it. I've never been, but
Right.
I like that it's based on a real place. It's good.
I it just goes to show how much the mechanics can mess with someone's like story and setting aren't enough. You have to have your mechanics and your interface tight
Mm-hmm.
or the story and setting don't matter. I think a
Totally.
lot of people like want to make games because they've got a good story idea or they've got a setting they want to investigate. But if you can't bring the game part of it to it,
You and
no
Danger
one's.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a Ghost reference. Remember Ghost?
I remember
Molly,
Ghost.
you and Danger Girl.
Did you go?
So good. All right.
Let's go make
So
some pottery together, baby.
yeah, that's so hot. So that was Game World.
This game.
Oh,
What
worst,
was your
worst, worst.
worst?
I said Demon's Forge
Okay.
because it's quite inconsistent. It doesn't really make any sense. It's interesting, but it's definitely not cohesive. You feel like Brian Fargo's just kind of dragging you through something.
I at least found all the parts of Demon's Forge world like there was something there that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't cohesive. You're correct. Like there was no cohesiveness to it. Uh, I have the best as Gabriel Knight. I think Might and Magic 1 is okay because the twist for me, it's okay. Like it's an interesting twist. It wasn't done a lot at the time, but it's okay. Uh, the worst is Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils
Oh yeah.
because that lasts. We're just gonna put gibberish on the screen and you're in master control and like no, you didn't finish coding and you needed to ship.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So yeah. Which leaves us overall. What's your best and worst, buddy? Best and
I
worst
think
of this year.
the peak in the pit.
The peak and the pendulum and the cask of
Kind of.
Amontillado.
Yep. Uh, best. I gave to Might and Magic 1.
Yes. And I don't know why. Because if I look
Right.
back through my other stuff, it's not at the top of any of this. I think it's just consistent across the board of good or fine.
Hmm.
And
Right.
everything else like had moments, but other things
Hmm.
dragged it down too far.
Exactly. Exactly. The contenders for me were Dungeon Hack, which didn't have enough to keep me engaged.
Yep.
Like, I just needed more from it. Um, Dark Forces, I didn't think it stood up well enough.
Yeah.
Um, excuse me. Prince of Persia was definitely a contender,
Right?
but it's just a little too light.
It's a little too light, and the repetition isn't fun. Like, it's
Hmm.
fun to figure some stuff out, but then I'm playing through a part again, or I'm racing that stupid time limit, which
Yeah,
I
right.
it puts, pushes you, and I think that's cool. But I don't know. I wish there was something that it's just the time limit's a little distracting for me in it. I don't
For
know how else
sure.
to say it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Might and Magic 1 was bestest. What was your worst?
You know, I think
All of
the
them.
worst, yeah, it was probably like I stridently defended it at the time, but it was probably Pickle Wars. Like if we're talking about what's the worst,
On this list.
yeah. I mean, I really didn't care for Kickstart.
Right.
I I, I
But
actually
you're
really
locked in a
didn't.
room with Kickstart and Pickle Wars. You got to play one to leave.
Right. Right. I'm probably gonna play a Kickstart.
Right. The thing is, I don't think you defended the game as much as you defended the developer, if
I
I'm
think that's
remembering
true.
right. You
That's
really
true.
did defend that developer, and for solid reasons. Like,
Thank
I've
you.
got no gripe with the dev.
Hmm.
And I'm sure the like learning game she made that fits that kind of thing. That's a learning game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mechanics and stuff. So, but tried to make something else, and it just, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know,
So
She Sandwich.
what were your best? You said was Might and
Might
Magic.
and Magic. It
What was your
consistently
worst?
across the board.
Gabriel Knight.
Well, that seems too easy is the problem. Like, because
Right.
it's not that Gabriel Knight's necessarily the worst game on this list. I'd
Yeah.
probably have to say Demon's Forge was, but Gabriel Knight is definitely the game I liked the least.
Hmm.
So, but that goes under fun. That's our first topic. Like,
Right.
overall, uh, Demon's Forge or Attack of the Phantom Karate Devils has to be at the bottom.
Yeah. I think that's true.
With,
F-
I think, Pickle Wars like right behind it. Like,
The thing about Phantom Karate Devils is that it's charming in its foibles,
right.
and Pickle Wars is charming in its campiness,
But the
but
gameplay is rough. Like, that's,
the game, right, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. If I have to go, I gotta go with Pickle Wars is the worst. I can't believe I'm saying that over Demon's Forge and
Demon's
Attack of the
Forge was
Phantom
real
Karate
bad,
Devils.
wasn't it?
It was. Uh,
Bad puzzles, just like
the puzzles were like, yeah, very Moon Logic-y. The parser, and like some people in the comments, speaking of comments, were like, you just didn't understand parsers. Back then, that's what they said for things. I'm like, no, I've read reviews from the day who said the parser sucked. This isn't just me with
yeah. I
rose
mean,
tinted glasses. This is,
there's some really good kind of two-word command
yeah,
parsers. Even Death Maze, I think the parser was
yeah.
pretty good.
Like,
I mean,
one of the gripes they had with me was like get lamp, instead of, or get whatever it was instead of take. Because I spent a long time typing take instead of get.
mhm.
And yes, I know that like Get Lamp is a documentary because Get is the most common thing, but it's not the only one.
Mhm.
Like Take is was pretty common, and
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I actually thought about like, and maybe I still will, of just as a sort of like dig, because that's the kind of mood I was in,
Mhm.
making a video called Chris's Hot Takes and just different text games you could type take something in. I thought
Yeah,
that'd be kind of funny. And they're
I
like,
think it would
nah,
be.
don't, let's
That's
not
funny.
antagonize people. Let's just
Yeah, right.
enjoy our
Right.
life for what it is.
Right. Just try to eke out some goddamn happiness.
Right.
Without poking the bear on the YouTube comments all the time.
What's the fun in that?
You know.
All right, let's.
That's a year looking back.
Yeah, that is a year.
We're gonna try to fix our shit here,
We're gonna try and
folks.
fix our shit this year. Uh, we want to get something out every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
we're rebuilding. We're in a
rebuilding.
rebuilding
This is a
phase.
year to rebuild. And one of the things we're going to rebuild with here is escape velocity.
Yes.
Since this is a request by someone who's very worried about how we feel about it, Matt, don't say anything just yet. Let's really just torture them as long as possible because we were supposed to discuss this a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do that.
We didn't do that. But yeah, let's let that do its thing. System Shock 2.
Yeah.
That's our other one.
Yeah. We're playing those.
We're playing those 2 games, and we will talk about them sooner than later.
Yes.
We promise. Escape velocity first.
Escape velocity first.
I know we've got notes and stuff ready to go, so we just gotta.
Yeah, we have been playing. We just have not been talking.
And then I will start trying to actually do. I kind of promised this to some people ahead of time, but I am going to try and get some scripted content out. I think that will be a nice change in addition to the channel this year, so expect some of that. If you like it, comment and let me know, and I'll keep doing it. If you're like, just shut up and bring Matt back, that's also an acceptable comment.
Yeah. In fact,
we all understand. Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anything
No,
else you
I
wanna
think
talk
I'm
about
in
for
good
the-
shape.
Yeah, me too. It's been a rough year. We will try to get stuff back on track. We hope your year went better, and we hope next year goes even better for all of us. So,
Yes.
have a
Thanks,
good one,
everyone.
everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.
Big thank you to all of you watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, suggesting games, commenting on our videos, or supporting us on Patreon. We appreciate all of your support and look forward to sharing many more videos with you. Thank you again.